playing around with some music, but that's I guess what you call the late night edition of TrendChat. That's the late night music, I guess. Hello, and this is, like I said, TrendChat. Kind of last minute, impromptu TrendChat. I would say I probably thought about doing this about 2 or 3 hours ago. And I guess one reason why is because I can. I mean, why not? So as I stated before in the first episode, that basically what this podcast is just me letting out what I'm already thinking about while I'm driving down the road. If you didn't hear the first episode and everything as far as about myself and how the show description and everything, I will suggest you go to the very first episode and listen in, and you will get more details as far as what I'm mentioning here. But this is kind of like one of those things now where I just kind of had a lot of stuff on my brain, just driving, listen to the radio, and just like. And I was thinking, like, what am I would just put on the podcast? And first, before I go into any of that, I just want to thank everyone who participated in the interviews. This week that were interviewed at CPAC last week. It was, like I posted on Facebook earlier, it definitely was better than I expected it. I wasn't expecting to get that many interviews. I was just thinking that it maybe be 3 or 4, and I just fill it in with some stuff with the regular program and just go from there. But like I said, I had like 2.5 hours of interviews, so I wanted to get it all out, because if I kept doing 15-minute intervals, it would have went into next week, and that's not really trending by that time. Actually, by Thursday, it was probably, already on a down trend already. So I went ahead and added some more time. So time that I'm actually going to use tonight too. And also another reason is I've been posting a show every day since Sunday. So why stop now? It's Friday. It's kind of weird to be trying to do a podcast on a Friday night. Most people probably out doing whatever on a Friday night, so who knows is probably listening. But if you are listening, the chat room is open because we are live. That's when it's actually open. So as opposed to any other time when it's being, I guess, recorded and put out. So anyone listening on Facebook or whatnot, just you can go on Spreaker.com/show/ I think it's TrendChat. I should know these things, but if you see it on Facebook, you click on the link, it'll go straight to it. So it'll take you to the chat and everything. And I guess I'll get into what I'm going to talk about. Just to kind of put a overview on a lot of it, because all this stuff I just been thinking about. I know I'm going to be talking about Obamacare and my disappointments with Congress so far, and go into all that, and also with Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and everything that went on there, and just the lack of resolve that I see when it comes to, I guess, to Republicans as far as what they're doing right now. It's just a contrast that I'm noticing, and maybe I'm missing something, but it's just something I'm seeing, and also just about, I guess, with that lack of resolve, and also we can probably talk about media and conservatives in media or lack thereof and stuff like that. I'm gonna go. I might probably go to the whole 45 minutes tonight, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm just right now. This is the live. Like I said, this is like I said, this is live. So trying to clear my throat. But so I'm just gonna go through a couple of things. Also, I want to mention this because I don't want to forget it in the middle in the middle of all my rant that I might go on. I definitely want to mention the group called the Founding Project. They are well launching their website soon. Right now they're on Facebook and under it's a Facebook group. So if you just go to Facebook and search the Founding Project, you should be able to find it. Their mission basically is to educate more citizens in knowing more about the founding of our country, like the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and just our founding in general, and just so more people would know about the country, where so for one, so they can actually pass a citizenship test that legal immigrants have to take. So I forget the stats about that, but a lot of citizens who are born here, a lot of them couldn't pass tests that legal immigrants have to take to become citizens. So a group it's called the Founding Project. They are that's their mission, and I just recommend you finding them on Facebook, and definitely when they get the website up, and hopefully I will get a few of them on to talk more about it. But so just wanted to make sure I got that out. Now I guess the first thing I want to talk about is just my whole disappointment in what is going on with this Obamacare repeal when it comes to Republicans. As far as I remember, like it was last year, when they went through the whole campaign and they promised so much. I mean, they said, "Oh, we got to repeal Obamacare on the first day." I mean, and it was all just blustering critique and viciously going after the policy and just saying how horrible it is, and we gotta do this now. And if you vote for me, if you was running for Congress or whatnot, or even President Trump now, and he was saying the same, at least in saying that Obamacare is just a horrible law and needs to be repealed. And here we are. It's March, and we're not. The progress is moving very slow, and repeal could have been done on the first day. Keyword is could have been. So, but it didn't. So a lot of other markers have passed, and we've gotten past the first week, went past the first month, went past President's Day, and now we are here, and now it's disappointing right now, just because you have so many, I guess, factors that are playing into it, and factors that I don't know why Republicans are getting sucked into. One would be in the reception that they're getting at these town halls, or not even just town halls, maybe just from the media, which it seems to be a constant problem amongst a lot of Republicans. Where for me, I've been involved since 20. So what? So it's '08. So I would say what, end of '07. So for me, I've never been involved when Republicans was in power, because my whole time has been just Democrats, for the most part in power, and Obama being in, the whole time. So for me, this is a bit new, but in the past 8 years, seeing Republicans being afraid, I guess, of the media for the most part. And I'm not talking about all Republicans. Obviously, there are some that are bold, but I'm talking about the majority of them, and the ones that are always very apologetic about about anything the media criticize them for, and they're always just basically accepting their narrative and then just going with it and saying, and then kind of bowing to it. I feel like a lot of them just act that way because they deep down they just really are not the people that they really are saying that they are. They're trying to appeal to conservatives for the most part to get elected, but that's not what they really are about, because when they get in, they use every excuse in the book to not promote or advocate any conservative policy until it's around election time, which is actually funny in the contrast when you talk about Democrats. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are liberals like that on the Democrat side, but it just seems like to me the Democrats run on something on an agenda, and if they get elected, they actually go out and do it. Maybe they don't go as far. Maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know myself as far as from a liberal point of view, but it seems like to me, at least they go out there and try. That kind of goes into my other point I'm going to make later on, and just the difference as far as just Democrats and Republicans, and how one tends to fight and one tends to kind of be shy about it. But back to this as far as the Obamacare repeal, it's just disappointing right now that, because it seems like you have so many different ways people want to go. I feel like the people that keep talking about repeal and replace, that's just making the process even slower. And in some cases, I feel like it's done on purpose to drag this thing on as long as possible. Because I feel like some of them just don't want it repealed. Some want to just. It's not the fact that it was Obamacare taking over the healthcare system. It's not so much that it's just that it was controlled by Democrats that they had a problem with, and not the fact they have a problem with the law in itself. They probably have no problem with the law. But they would like to run it, and they want to be, instead of Obamacare, they just want to be, I guess, Republican care, I guess, and just have them have their stamp on it. So it's not about the taking over of an industry. It's not about that. It seems like some of these Republicans have no problem with that. So that's what I feel like about some of the people who are maybe wanting to drag their feet on this. And it's funny. It's an argument that I'm not hearing too much. Is that it seems like they're buying in to a narrative about about trying to think of it in particular. Oh yeah, about some will say, and I'm pretty sure they probably hear it in these town halls, that you can't just end Obamacare right now, and then people just be out in the street without no health care or no insurance or whatever. but I don't hear anyone saying anything about, um, well, there is, and like the plan for 2015, the bill that was passed in 2015 about repealing Obamacare. There was a 2-year transition period, and that's what a lot of these plans have, a transition period. But it seems like Republicans don't mention that. Like that. Look, I'm mentioning that right now, and it's not like I've seen everything, every bill that they have passed, and they are planning for Obamacare. And I even know there's a transition period, but why in the world they just can't, like, that never comes to mind when they at a town hall and someone come up to them and just say like, well, you're gonna throw people off, you know, Obamacare, or throw them off whatever healthcare plan that they have right now if you repeal Obamacare. And yet, time and time again, I don't hear anyone saying like, well, that's not the case, because there will be a 1 year, 2 year transition period, even if this bill is repealed. So that's not the case. So if we did repeal it today, it's not like as soon as President Trump signed it, everyone is off, and now he just yon right then and there. That's not the case. But I don't hear that argument, and I don't know. Maybe people it's just kind of what I'm thinking about, as far as I don't know if they really want to repeal Obamacare or not. So that's just one of the things. you know, and like one of the other issues as well when it comes to this whole repeal is now then you have people, Republicans, basically want to not repeal it, but maybe want to fix it or tinker around with it, basically make it like Obamacare light, which is going to just make things worse, really. And then when when this Obamacare light fails, like Obamacare failed, then what? Then it's on them for tinkering around with it, just messing around the outsides, instead of just repealing the whole law and starting fresh. But that's where we're at right now. But you know what? I would say, I would say this first too, is that the fear about it is that right now, okay, you have people maybe calling their congressman or whatnot, and it's being talked about on Twitter and social media in general. But that's right now, and the fear is that 1 year. It's not. Well, I mean, we haven't got to 1 year yet. We just over a month. But think about it, if it goes on for another year, and then 2 years, and then 3 years, and then we're going into the general for President Trump to be reelected and all that, and then by that time, I don't know if the law hasn't been repealed by then. Well, for one, that has to be a negative for President Trump if he trying to get reelected. In that sense, if we've gone on that long with nothing, or even something like I said, like an Obamacare light, but even with that, the more this keep dragging on, people are gonna just lose interest little by little, and let's say we did go 3 years from now and it's still nothing. I can very well hear the argument for that being that, well, by that time it'll be over 10 years old. And at that time, well, people have been, I can just hear the argument. People are like, well, it's been a part of the system, been a part of the government for the past 10 years. A lot of people are I guess what's it? A lot of people are benefiting from it. Blah blah blah, and basically just say like, well, it's ingrained into the system, and we can't just upend it now and just go on to the point that basically it just becomes like another government program, like everything else, and just increasing the size of government even more. And by that time, then it would be close to impossible to getting rid of it. And then everyone will basically be coming back 4 years later, 6, 8 years later again. This time they're not talking about repeal. Now they're just talking about fixing it. Like they talk about fixing Social Security. Like they talk about fixing Medicaid. Like they talk about fixing all these other programs. And that's when, by that time, that's when we need to fix this Obamacare, whatever they might be calling it by then. But so that's where where all this, I feel like it's, this keeps going on and on. I feel like this is where we're going to be at. And but I would say one tiny little sliver of of hope in it is that, do you remember when Obamacare was voted upon and passed? It was basically over a year after Obama was inaugurated, because it was this month in 2010. So it took them that long to get it passed. So in that sense, as much as I've been ranting and raving about this right now, if we can get to this time next year, and it would be repealed by this time next year, at least, okay. Like I said earlier, I mean, this should have been and could have been done earlier. Could have been done already, but it took the Democrats over a year to actually get it passed. So even though it shouldn't take the Republicans this long to repeal it, but if so, I guess I can be rational with that, just as long as it happens. See, that's the thing. I was, we all been hearing about what they were going to do with Obamacare in the first 100 days or whatnot, and it doesn't look like anything of the sort is happening. So it's going to be kind of hard to actually fully to trust if they're going to do that in the next year or so or not. So enough about that. But, it's just stuff I wanted to get out. So just get off my brain, get off my chest, and obviously another trending topic will be Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and his speaking with the Russian ambassador during the campaign. Now, I remember when I first heard it, I started reading up on it, and one of the first things I saw in reading that, I didn't know off the top of my head, what committees he was a part of, but then just seeing that he was a part of the Armed Services Committee, time I saw that, I'm like, well, that shouldn't be that big of an issue. If you're part of the Armed Services Committee, that you will speak to some foreign ambassador of any kind, not just Russia, just in general. But that's not how Democrats and their friends in the media are going to spin that. Obviously they are using this in their ever seeking, wanting to connect anything they can to Russia and the Trump administration, and any communication or I guess, I don't know, whatever it is, whether it's, if you're looked at a Russian, then you might be implicated or something. So, but this, that's one thing I mentioned in one of my articles for Politics is that this is not going to stop. They're going to find every little thing to make an issue out of, and the Democrats have a very powerful ally, as I mentioned, with their friends in the media, which this kind of goes back to the point I wanted to make about fighting, you know, for, well, I mean, whether you think it's petty or whatnot, or playing politics, but the Democrats are in the minority in Congress, in both houses now. But you wouldn't know that. No, you wouldn't know that from how they are fighting every single thing and how they are fighting in the media and everywhere, and it's constant. And my question is, like, why didn't Republicans fight like so hard like this when Obama was in? You know, Democrats, I mean, they fought tooth and nail about every single appointment. Whether, whether you feel like it's petty that they're doing that or not. And me personally, look, as long as they are going by the rules, and okay, yeah, it might make things go a little bit slower than usual, but if they're doing things by the book, then I have no problem with it. And it makes me think that, because one of the things that Republicans have been bringing up about confirming all, the cabinet, is that, well, we confirmed Obama's cabinet, X amount of days, I forget now, but it was quick. Okay, that's nice and all, but I actually don't think that's a great thing to be bragging about personally, because that kind of means you really wasn't fighting about these appointees. And so now you sit back and see what the Democrats are doing with the Trump administration. They're fighting every single appointment, which, if I am a constituent of a Democrat, I have no problem with. That were the sort of things that we wanted from them when the Obama administration was having all these appointees coming through because of X, Y, and Z or whatever. So I really don't have no problem with what Democrats are doing as far as them fighting, because that's what they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, Republicans don't do that. If they were, whether they're minority or even now, it looks like even as a majority, they're just really timid about. They're timid and seem to care more about the opinion of the opposition than they do their constituents. So, and this, I'm just trying to think about just thinking about how they are, when the Republicans, as far as during the Obama administration, that whether it was Fast and Furious, Solyndra, IRS, or Benghazi, their claims and what the evidence they were bringing towards the Obama administration, anything that they said to the media and tried to report about, Republicans and conservatives were reporting about the Obama administration, was always met with the major news outlets as like some sort of conspiracy theory, or just wasn't given any credibility. Because let's face it, most people in these major news outlets are liberals, so they always are skeptical, overly skeptical, basically just not even totally dismissing their claims. Meanwhile, you flip this around now with the Trump administration now, basically any claim a Democrat makes can just go to the media, and most of them will just go run right with it, and and basically give the Democrats more credibility in what they are claiming about the Trump administration. And when I'm saying that, it's just that because these major news outlets are reporting to a good majority of people. Um, the people, and especially when I'm saying the people that don't follow politics all the time, so they basically getting a lot of their news, whether whether they're getting it straight on through TV or just media through the phones and tablets or whatnot. But they're that's where they're getting a lot of their, I guess, information. And some will see that will see a Democrat on I don't know, ABC, NBC, CBS, or whatever nightly news or something making a claim, and then that reporter turns around, basically gives it credibility by saying like, well, that's a question that needs to be asked or something like that, or I think we need to do some investigative journalism on it, or something like that, as opposed to the past 8 years when a Republican or conservative, will make a claim about something. Oh, well, that's just hearsay, or that's just conspiracy theory amongst Republicans. It just they're just using anything because they're racist, in a way that, or just use any excuse to try to dismiss whatever Republican or conservative was saying. So so that's a bit nerve wracking, but hey, that's that's the name of the game, really, and it kind of goes into where you just have a lack of conservatives in the media, and not even just media, just business in general. And I don't know if it's just a lack of conservatives. I mean, I would guess it's a lack, or it may be just a lack of will of conservatives in business or in media to be an advocate for their values. I mean, like liberals are. Liberals have no problem putting their values out there and to act upon them. Meanwhile, a lot of conservatives tend to not, I guess, or either not or just not there, or what I'm saying. And I mean, and saying in media and business too, because in business as well. I mean, you see all these businesses that are doing something that's promoting whatever liberal hot topic it is that of the time. But a lot of these businesses are multi-billion-dollar businesses that are doing it. Meanwhile, you don't see too many I guess conservative corporations out there just champion something conservative. It's normally something pretty liberal, and that's what I was saying. As far as you're seeing a lack of any conservative advocacy, I guess, in a way. And I'm not saying that they have to be. I'm just what I'm saying is that you're just seeing one side, and either that is because they're not there or they're not willing to put themselves out there. And either way, that's not good, because you're just continually to go further to the left, and there without any resistance. I mean, that's a resistance I would, that there are before, not this resistance toward the Trump administration that constantly is going on and being, held up by by major news outlets wanting to promote the resistance. Now it's resistance. I mean, back when it was a Tea Party, it was all obstruction and racism and whatever whatever ism you can put behind it, whatever negative ism you can put in. That's what it was when it was opposition towards Obama. But now it's the mighty resistance, basically making like Star Wars or something. Um, but but yeah, like I said, man, I'm just I'm just getting all this off my chest. It's stuff I've been kind of milling around today, and like the last been posting nothing but interviews, so thought it'd be good just to put this long rant on tonight. So and I mean, it's not like I believe that everything these major news outlets are doing is fake news. I mean, I don't believe that either. I don't take it as far as like, well, everything they're doing is fake news and all that. No, I mean, some of it could be true. The thing about it is, it's just kind of hard to decipher which one it is. And it's kind of hard to be sympathetic to the media either, though. Even though you may feel like, okay, that they maybe are, that I guess you could say maybe Trump supporters or Trump himself is maybe going too far as with the whole fake news thing. But hey, there are examples of that, for one, and also they make themselves pretty hard to sympathize with when for the past 8 years you've been playing patty cake with the Obama administration. So it's, you want to be fair and say, okay, maybe it's not as how they're portraying it, as far as what they're portraying the media being fake news. But then you turn around like, you want to turn around and defend a media that's been basically just been Obama's just press corps for the past 8 years, and now they want to be respected now. I mean, you kind of lost a lot of respect in the past 8 years, so it's something that you kind of have to. Well, at least for me. So, I mean, like I said, some just take it to the point of where they just like it's all fake news, all of it. And like I said, it's kind of hard to figure out what is fake or not, because you don't know whether they are making up stories just to hurt the Trump administration just because, or if it is real journalism, because they've been showing so much bias in the past, and not just 8 years. I mean, just overall when it comes to Republicans. But we got 5 minutes left, and I pretty much got it all out, all what was on my mind, and I appreciate anyone who's listening, and I'll probably do a video recap on Saturday or maybe Sunday. I really don't know yet. Right now I'm in Meridian, Mississippi. I'm broadcasting on Spreaker, and so in the next couple of days, depends on where I'm at. I won't be posting another episode. Not another rant. I won't be doing that tomorrow. Take that one day off, I guess, and then do the video recap on Twitter / Periscope and on Facebook Live. We kind of talk all about the interviews, I guess, and I guess if anyone has any questions, I guess on Facebook or anywhere this is posted. Right now, we are broadcasting on Spreaker. We are on SoundCloud as well. We are waiting to see if we will be approved for iHeartRadio, and working on trying to get on iTunes. it's not as easy for me, I guess, to get on. I don't know. It's not like I know I don't know any of this. All this is new. Even doing the interviews the past week was all new. I didn't know I didn't know how to get audio and put it on a podcast. All this I learned this week. And even as far as editing, I edited one episode, which was the first episode, because I edited and put all three clips together and then played it all the way through. If anyone noticed that, but after that, I just to edit it and try to like to do stuff as far as trying to take the background sound out and to take parts out, and maybe I could do it in future podcasts. I mean, I know I will, but it just all trying to edit all of those clips, because we're talking like 23 clips I remember, and trying to get all of that and just trying to go through every second. I'm just glad that how I recorded it the way I recorded it, where I just started when I clicked on the recorder and started right there and then ended it right there. I'm glad I didn't put a lot of conversation before and before and after where I had to edit it out. I'm glad I recorded it that way so I wouldn't have to do so much editing. It's funny because my wife does a lot of video editing, and by looking at all the stuff I was doing, I just wow, editing is it's very time consuming and tedious. I know found that out just in the past week. So coming up on the end, and just want to let everyone know. Also, just say again, I appreciate you listening, and if you want to connect with us anytime on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the name is all the same. It's all TrendChat 24/7. And TrendChat247.com will take you right to Spreaker right here to listen to any of these episodes. And I truly appreciate everyone listening so far. Right now, actually, I looked at the stats, and we have over 280 plays, which is a lot for me. I mean, the fact that one person want to listen is great. But I appreciate you, and like I said, I guess I'll be back next Tuesday or maybe Monday. Who knows? I might have something else that might be ranting on. So I'm just gonna let this smooth music play on out all the way to the end, and till next time, I'll chat with you later.